welcome back to the kitchen. This week we're going to be making an easy macaroni and cheese recipe that is all in one pot. And first I'm going to give you a little look around our brand new kitchen, which as you can already see, we have a nice blue paint color. We have a built-in microwave and a new stove. The light's not the best right now, but it's a little bright. Now today I'm still going to be using our electric skillet. We did order a stovetop skillet to go with our new stove, but it's not here yet. So I'll be struggling with this one for hopefully just one more time. So you'll need 1 pound of dry macaroni, and I bought the whole wheat kind, and this is a 1 pound box. We need a little bit of kosher salt, some pepper, a little bit of butter, some shredded cheese, but you do have to shred it yourself. The person that wrote this recipe says that if you use the kind that comes shredded in a bag, it has other things added into it that will make your macaroni just have like a weird texture, kind of grainy. So you have to shred it yourself, which this will take a while, but it will be worth it. And also we need some milk. And it does call for whole milk. I'm keeping mine down here in the sink for now because somehow it has sprung a leak. Alright, first I'm going to shred the cheese because that will take a while and I want to have that ready ahead of time. So I have the big box grater, and I'm going to use the biggest side so it won't take as long. And this recipe does call for 8 ounces of the sharp cheddar cheese. And by the way, this recipe is from a blog called The Kitchn, and I'll put the link to that down below. But the other recommendation in the recipe is that you can also do half and half of the sharp cheddar and half of the Monterey Jack. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to shred half of this one and then stop, and then shred half of this one and then stop. Alright, we have our cheese all shredded. It actually took about 12 minutes, so not too long. Now we're going to put 2 cups of whole milk into the skillet. Okay, now we need 1 3/4 cups of water. And finally we need 1 teaspoon of the kosher salt. I actually don't know why it has to be kosher salt and not just any salt. They didn't explain it, so I guess you'd have to do some research if you really wanted to know. But I bought this kind just in case it's really important that it be this specific kind. Alright, now we're going to bring this to a boil over medium-high heat. And I'm just going to put my lid on to make it go a little faster. While I'm waiting for this to boil, I'm going to get my 2 tablespoons of butter ready, which we add at the end along with the cheese. And if you're not familiar with this, it's marked off in tablespoons on the side here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 tablespoons in a stick. So I'm just going to count 1, 2, and then start to cut through the paper here. You don't even have to go all the way. Just go all the way around the square. And then once you've cut all the way around, you can just break it off. I can hear it starting to heat up, so I'm just going to stir this because I don't want it to stick to the bottom or anything like that. Okay, let it go for a little bit longer. Alright, not sure if you can see that through the glass, but it is boiling, so I'll just lift this off and show you. Okay, and before this screen steams up completely, you can see that it's boiling. So I'm going to turn this down and give it a little stir. We want to reduce the heat and just let this simmer It's gonna go down to a simmer in just a second here, hopefully. And I'm gonna add my 1 pound macaroni. Alright, so I just added the 1 pound of macaroni. Now we need to simmer this. Now we need to stir often so it doesn't stick. We're just gonna do this until the macaroni absorbs all the liquid. Or at the very least until it absorbs most of the liquid and the pasta is tender. Alright, as you can see, it's going a little bit crazy with the bubbles right now. And that is a boil, not a simmer. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit more and keep stirring. If you've watched any previous videos that I've done using this skillet, you'll know that that is a challenge with this skillet because it tends to be pretty much all or nothing. And as you can see now, it's, well, it is simmering still a little bit right there, but it's about to go down to nothing. So I'm just going to keep playing around with the dial here and stirring until we get to the point where the liquid is mostly absorbed and the pasta is done. So I'll be back in a little bit. Oh, one more thing, you might notice that I am keeping the lid on as much as I can. That's because we want the, well, I'm keeping it on with a crack here so steam can still escape. But the reason I'm keeping it on most of the way is because we want the pasta to absorb the liquid. We don't want most of the liquid to escape into the air as steam. We want it to go into the pasta, so that's why. Okay, I think it's ready, but to test it, you can take a little pasta, fish it out, and just let it sit on here until it's cool because you don't want to burn yourself. And then just eat that one and just see what it's like. Okay, I was right. It is ready, or it's just about ready, which is fine because it will continue to cook a tiny bit more just because there's so much heat already stored in here, even though I have now turned it off. So now this is when we add our 2 tablespoons of butter, and whoops, don't put the wrapper in there, and our cheese. And the main thing is that the pasta is tender when you test it. It doesn't have to absorb every bit of liquid. I think I might have said that in a confusing way at the beginning of the video. It's just absorbing most of the liquid, not every bit of the liquid. Because we do actually want a little bit of liquid left in order to combine with the butter and the cheese, which is going to create our sauce as it all melts together. Butter melt. Alright, so it's ready. You can see it looks delicious. I'm gonna hurry down and get everybody who might want macaroni and cheese from the library staff because it does say serve this immediately while it's still nice and hot. Alright, I hope you had a great time in the kitchen today, and we'll see you again next time. Have a great week. Bye!